Just wanted to give an update on what's going on in the Straw-Bale garden. We've got lots of tomatoes coming on the plants. These are Rutgers here, looking very nice. Very nice, sizable tomatoes. This is a pink brandywine. This is the tallest plant that I have. He is about, or she, whatever, is about to grow out of the cage here. But lots of tomatoes coming on all throughout the plant. And I've been making sure to take these little suckers in the corners of your plants, as long as they're indeterminate plants, pull these little suckers out and it will make your plant produce more fruit. It can concentrate, and you can even take them out when they get that big. You just want to be careful not to damage the plant. I'm going to have to get a pair of shears for that, pruning shears for that one. But you want to try to catch them when they're tiny, just tiny, like that. There's one right there. I'll give you an idea. See this one right here? Take that one out of there. And even up here. It makes the plant concentrate more on producing fruit than all of this, leaves and foliage growth. We've got some pretty German Queen tomatoes. And then here we've got some, I have to get out behind the leaf, some beefsteak tomatoes. Looking really good here. This is a Parks Whopper. Now my Mr. Stripey has not put on any yet. He sort of didn't start real well, but he's looking much better. And then this is the mortgage lifters. And these, as you can see, they put on in little clusters, which I thought was sort of cool. It's supposed to be a mortgage lifter. I'm debating whether that is a mortgage lifter or not. But we'll let it grow and we'll see. Now we're going to go over to our Sweet 100s, which we've already gotten some off of these. Oops. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful. The Sweet 100s. This is one of my favorite plants here. And this one's sizable too. He's grown up tall. Then my Roma has not gotten too big. But a tomatillo plant, he's sort of just taken over this whole bale. And then this squash plant didn't do too well. So where it was located, it was getting shadowed by the other plants. So what I done is I moved him to another spot in the bales. I had an empty spot. And now, as you can see, doing much better. Got some fruit going on. Now, that's my zucchini and my squash plant, which are growing crazy. Lots of zucchinis. Got one back there ready to get. I've already took one off of here. And we've already had a mess of squash off of this plant, which I've got a couple that need to be gotten. Lots and lots of blooms. Lots and lots of new ones coming on, as you can see down in there. Beautiful plants. Now onto the peppers. My peppers are, these are the Tabasco peppers here. They are finally starting to grow up, or to start growing. I had some, I don't know if it's aphids or little flies, fruit flies or something, were eating them up. I think that's gone away. I've got an Anaheim pepper here that's gorgeous. Beautiful pepper. It's gotten big. I'll wait and let that one turn red. Then I've planted me a pimento not too long ago. It's got lots of new growth coming on. Now these are my, here's my jalapenos. As you can see, I've got some jalapenos coming on. And this is a jumbo jalapeno, and I don't see any fruit coming on there yet. Got several of the bell pepper plants already putting on some good sized little bell peppers. And then I've got poblanos. We love poblanos around here, and I'm going to have to tie these little babies up because they get a little top heavy. Tend to be growing rather tall. Now this year I incorporated my arch, actually 2 arches, with some hog panels into my garden. I talked about that in an earlier video. And now I planted Blue Lake runner beans, and these are doing beautifully. I'm so excited about this. They're growing up and over the arch on both sides. So I'm hoping to have a good slew of beans. Same thing going on here with my cucumbers. And you have to do a little bit of training of these plants. I had to, get them started on the arch. But once you get them started, and I already have, this is exciting. Got some cucumbers going on. This is cool. Lots of things coming on earlier this year. Of course, we've had prettier weather a lot earlier. It's gotten warmer a lot earlier. And I'm going to have to take these pieces and guide them up the outside of that. And then, well, we'll get over there in a minute. I've got a cucumber on this side going over this way. So this one is going to go on this side, and the other one will go on the other. So, now I did plant a couple, I've tried to plant some seeds over here. I've got a couple carrots coming up in Straw-Bale. I've not ever done the carrots in the Straw-Bale, so I thought I'm going to leave those and just see how they do. I do have, this year's straw seem to have a lot more weed seed, I guess, in it. So I have had some weeds coming up, but this is pretty much it for a Straw-Bale garden. Not a whole lot of weeding that goes on. This is just in the walkway here. I do have cattle cloth underneath to try to prevent a lot of weed growth. But as far as weeds in the bales, it's doing pretty good. Not seeing a lot, but I wasn't as happy with these straw bales as I was last year's. I do have some potatoes going on in this pot right here in this container. I took and put 6 inches of soil in the pot, put my potato eyes or potato starters in there, and then I've been slowly adding straw. I need to add some more straw because after your plants get about 4 inches above the straw, you want to add more straw. This is my asparagus. This is the second year in the garden. So didn't have a lot to put on. I had a few, but you don't usually get a crop from these till about the 3rd year, I'm hoping. I did transplant them to a different section in the garden, so I'm not sure if I'll get them next year or if it'll be the next. And I've got some turnips coming on. My carrot bed is good. This is where my potatoes were. I just harvested my potatoes today. I'm going to show you in just a second. I'll show you the pot of potatoes. Then I've got Brussels sprouts going on this year. The Brussels sprouts I'm excited about because we love Brussels sprouts in our family. I've never thought about growing them, but I'm excited to watch this. And of course, you don't harvest them till the fall. But each of these little, let me get to a different one. Each of these little nubs right here, that's where the Brussels sprouts will come out. And then they'll be all up the shoot. But you harvest those in the fall. And then my cabbage plants, I'm extremely excited about because I've never been able to grow cabbage. Never. The slugs have always taken them over. Now, they are planted a little too close, but as you can see there, this head is a really sizable head of cabbage. I've got a couple of them. So I'm just excited that I have them, whether they're too close or not. They may not produce as big a head because of the proximity of the other heads, but they're looking really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. Of course, I'm not an organic gardener. I do use 7 dust. But, yeah. So we're going to walk over here. I'm going to show you my potatoes that I got out of the garden today. I'm going to go up on the deck here. Here are the potatoes I got today. I just had, I think it was 5 or 6 plants. And I did harvest some prior to these, about 14 or 15 potatoes, sizable potatoes. I did it early, like 2 weeks after the blooms died on the plants. These I harvested because the plants started wilting and turning yellow and dying. So I went ahead and harvested those. But that's pretty much what's going on in the Straw-Bale garden. Everything's growing beautifully. And I'll give you an overview. I've got 21 bales in my garden, and everything is doing great. I've had a few issues with some fruit flies or some kind of little flies. I've got a couple of the Rutgers here have some curly leaves, but we've had a lot of drought. Not drought, well, yeah, I guess drought. We had several weeks that we had no rain whatsoever. Of course, I use my PVC irrigation, but you need a really good rain for your tomatoes. But even with that being said, I've got tomatoes coming on these plants, so I think they're going to survive. I think all is going to be well. These are my canning tomatoes. The Rutgers are anyhow. So, but there again, this has been Gardening with Tracy. I just wanted to give you an update on my Straw-Bale garden. Glad you could watch. If you like my channel, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, please shoot me a question below. Have a blessed day.